Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Question is, can you see me? Can you hear me? So, if I take away that, hello. So let me just have a quick check on YouTube, and we should be live. Oh, boo, boo. We're live, and we have audio. Hello, hello. So, very nice to see you all. I hope you're all doing well. I hope everyone is having a good time and enjoying some delicious tea today. So, my name is George, and today we're here to drink some delicious tea, and we want to put together a little bit of brewing and talk a bit about our tea club membership. So we have lots of wonderful teas which we produced in this spring, and I'm going to brew a couple of them now. It's a good opportunity for anybody to ask any questions they fancy, and I've got the chat here so I can see, and please feel free to ask any questions, and I'm happy to answer all and every one of your burning tea questions. So first, I'm a little bit thirsty, so let's brew a little bit of tea. So this is the typical tea club box, and for springtime we have lots of this freshly produced spring teas in here. So this is the box that would have been arriving at your front door, and let me do a little bit of, I don't want to, it's too well packaged. There we go. So, I mean, now is a good time as any to test something. Hello, hello, tea potato. Hello, hello. Let me jump back to our good friend. Okay, let me just try something. Let's speak. One moment. Okay. This has gone. Okay, beautiful. So we've got a nice little up close shot, so I can show you guys what we have. So in here we have a beautiful photograph, postcard. This is the shading material, and then we have the tea leaves under the shading as well. So this is a typical view under the tea bush. Quite a rare view that many people don't get to see. So this is for kabase, sencha, or perhaps some matcha. Then this time we have a revisited look for our quarterly journal. And in here you can see lots of different articles, and we've got Japanese and English, and also some French this time as well. And you can see what we've been up to. And in here you will find a piece that I wrote all about the Blue Forest Tea Garden. So this is our tea garden, which is only enabled by our wonderful tea club members who are supporting us and helping us produce these delicious teas. So I hope you've read this. If you haven't, I definitely recommend. It's a beautiful story actually, and it's thanks to one of our tea club members, Mike, and he sent us some wonderful things, which maybe I'll bring on in a little bit. But yeah, beautiful. Anyway, I'll let you guys have a read of that, and I'm looking forward to the one that will be coming next as well. Now we have 6 teas here altogether, and our members from years past will remember that we've normally done just the 5-gram sample sizing, so everybody has an opportunity to taste all the delicious teas, and you can take them with you, and it's a bit more portable. But I felt it was perhaps time we move towards a little bit of a hybrid version, where we have some larger packets of tea. For those who want to have a little bit more of the same tea, they're able to have a bit more of the same tea in the same packet. And then also we're going to still do some of these sample sizes, so you're able to take these out and about with you or gift to friends very easily. So this would be a nice thing. So we have lots of delicious teas here today, and these two are 40 grams each, so plenty of delicious tea. So I see, as the tea potato is here, then I think we should probably ask the tea potato the deep and dark question: which tea should we brew today, sir? And he says, I really enjoyed the hybrid packaging. I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did. We wanted to be able to bring this type of packaging and offer lots of different things. So this was this was very cool. This was very cool. So what is the tea of preference today? If you'd like to make a choice, please feel free. You can jump in and have a little look at the different teas we have. So we have some gold hojicha. This is a nice roasted tea using spring sencha, so very high grade. Then we have some sencha of the earth. We have, my favorite was sencha of the earth. So yeah, Akisan did some special stuff with that this year. So it does not surprise me. Okay, so let's brew some sencha of the earth then. So I will try and keep this view as much as possible so we can focus on the tea brewing for the moment. We have some, I'm able to change it up a little bit, but I thought maybe it was quite nice. We have quite a nice view of the tea brewing. And we can have a little gander at that. So let's open this tea up and let's find out what we're looking like. So look at that. Beautiful. Now, something I must tell you in advance is that every staff member brews their teas a little bit differently. So let me see if we can something like that. Beautiful leaf. You can see there's a stem in there as well. But very beautiful leaf. Now to brew this tea, I want to cool down the water a little bit first, and this is my preference. So I'm going to get some water over here. You can see a little bit in the reflection. There's the water being poured. So I like to get a pitcher of hot water and cool the water a bit. So let me just give it a swish. Heat the teaware, and I don't want to fill too full. Not only because there's not many cups here today, but I want to be able to only brew about halfway up the teapot. This is how I tend to get my best quality teas. So let me just put that in there. And we can brew relatively hot for this sencha of the earth. This is a zairai. So it's a cultivar which is made up of many different genetics and is a local variety to Wasaga, so very special. Beautiful. It smells so good as well. Very, very, very good aroma. So typically Zairai has some extra aroma in there up for grabs because there's so much genetic difference in the leaf in the field that there's a lot of different polyphenols that are able to give those delicious theaflavins. So it's a really nice way to experience a tea with a lot of genetic differences in the field. But it does mean that you get different performance based on the field. So depending on how you look after your tea bushes and how you look after the fields, it changes the quality of the tea you will get. So I'm just going to pour that amount in. That's about halfway. That's probably about 100 milliliters, something like that. And let me just put the hot water back into the kettle. And that tea is brewing. So this is a very, very tasty tea, and is one of my favourites at Abubu generally, because you can get such a delicious punchy flavour if you want, but also if you want to brew a sweeter, slightly more aromatic, more ethereal tea, then this can also do the job. So it's a very flexible tea in that regard. Akisan also used a new type of fertilizer in the field this year, so he was able to get a really good performance of the tea bush when it came to harvest and processing. So I think all of these things combined with the fact that the weather this year was phenomenal made this tea a particularly delicious tea. So there's another one in the set which is also a very tasty tea and my personal favourite of the year, but we'll come on to that probably either a little bit later or perhaps this afternoon. So I have a question for the tea potato. Which of the teas aside from Centre of the Earth was the runner-up, was the second favourite? Let me just do a little bit of wait. Beautiful colour as well. Very vibrant green. Beautiful leaf. I think it'd have to be Gushing Brook. So actually that's my favourite of this year was the Gushing Brook. Very, very tasty tea. Oh, and the petty therapist says hello from the factory. Hello, hello. Cindy says both very good choices, tea potato. Excellent choices. I mean, excellent taste. If I have to say, some of my favourite teas of this year have been Centre of the Earth and Centre of the Gushing Brook. So there's a couple of other favourites which I've got to be honest, we haven't released yet, which is a bit of a secret, but we're hoping to release them towards the end of the month. So we've got fingers crossed on that. But look at how beautiful this tea is. Look at it. It's like liquid gold. It's green gold. Very beautiful tea. So I want to show you the teapot as well. Look at that. So we have a nice mixture of material in there, and you can see the stems as well. So we're going to get a variety of flavour profile there. So very, very well balanced tea. So now we're gonna try and do the old switcheroo again. So camera change. Oh, we've also got Alex Billingsley in here as well. So hello Alex, it's nice to see you. Oh. Let me just check on the camera. Okay. There we go. Okay, we're back. We're back in business. So, and we've also got Alex Billingsley here as well. Hello, Alex. Alex is another one of our Tea Club members and previous intern as well. And she's, I believe she's going to be coming back in the autumn time to say hello while she's doing a bit of studying in Kyoto. So exciting. So yeah, Cindy, if you'd also be able to tell us what your favourites were, and if there's one that you preferred instead of the tea potatoes choices, and also, Alex, I'd love to know what you thought as well of the teas since you've been here and tasted your way through all of the teas. How do they compare to ones when you were an intern as well? But in the meantime, let's enjoy some delicious tea. So, itadakimasu. Wow. Wow, I sometimes forget. Delicious. I sometimes forget Center of the Earth has such a like lively feeling. You know, it feels alive. It's got some vitality. That's what this has. This tea has vitality. That's how I would describe this. But it's a very delicious tea. Delicious. And the aroma in the cup afterwards. It was almost a little bit creamy, almost peachy. Akisan is so good at making tea. It kind of blows the mind. And when you see him in the springtime producing the teas, he's always in the factory until like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. And then he's farming the next day. So when you taste the teas, you really feel the hard work that went into producing these delicious teas. And at the same time, he's trying to think about the cultivation of the field and to make sure that there's the best quality raw material available for producing these teas. So he has so much on his mind to craft together this beautiful final product for you. And when I drink these teas and I'm able to taste them year to year, you can taste the progression in his thinking for each of the fields. So it's quite a wonderful thing. And with being part of the tea club, you're able to just receive these teas almost as soon as we've harvested and processed them. You know, our priority each year is to make sure the tea club teas are packed, ready and shipped before anything else. So it's a wonderful way to receive tea as soon as possible directly from the farm to your front door. So really, really delicious. And this is a very good choice from the tea potato. So I just read a couple of bits. So here we go. Okay. So Alex says, what a beautiful brew, such a perfect amount in each cup. Yes, I mean, I have to say that after you do a little bit of brewing here, you get kind of used to the water amounts, and it's just second nature. Occasionally, as in a previous YouTube video that got released earlier this week, I do spill the tea leaves everywhere, but you have to go and see that to get an idea of that. But it's it's kind of second nature. The tea potato says, what's the difference between earth and wind since they're both Zairai? Excellent question. So Zairai is the cultivar, so the type or the variation of the tea bush. So they're the same. So what's the difference between these two? Well, there's a little clue in the packaging. We have Zairai on this side, and we have wind on this side. So the wind has been shaded for 2 weeks. So this has undergone a direct style of shading, and this has meant that we've brought out a lot more umami in this tea, a lot more sweetness. And in comparison, this is just with no shading at all, so roji or jun. And this is in direct sunlight, so you get a lot more of the bitterness. And when I said vitality, I believe it comes from a bit of that as well. And when you taste the wind, it has a lot more of a sweet, more round flavor profile. So taste them side by side, same cultivar, different cultivation. So very interesting comparison. So excellent topic to bring up. And Cindy says, Hojito Gold is the one I keep going back to. So Hojito Gold, this is quite a rare tea to find because Hojito generally is made up of teas which are lower quality, and Hojito Gold is using the first flush teas, so the teas from spring this year we roasted and produced this tea from. So it's very rare to find people that will be happy to roast their spring sencha, because normally you want to drink a sencha, but producing this highest grade quality, it makes something very special, very different. So Cindy says this is the one she keeps going back to, and it is a very tasty tea. So when I'm feeling like in the evening I want something a little bit fancier than a regular Hojito, then this is the one I go for. But it's a very tasty tea. And then Alex says this year's Center of the Earth has such an amazing aroma. It's much more floral than the 2020 and 21 harvests. The tea potato says Earth has such a good balance between bitter and umami. An absolutely incredible tea, says Alex. And Justin. Hello, Justin. Also from the factory, I assume, says hello. Hello, everybody. So, we're going to brew a second tea. And I believe for the second tea, of course, this cup is for you. So I shall leave this over here. Please come and drink it whenever you fancy. For the second cup, I want to brew a different tea. And if anyone has a preference, please speak now. Otherwise, I will brew the Hojito Gold. So please, if you have a preference on which one you would like me to see brew, and we can talk a bit about, please let me know. So we're going to brew in this teapot. So this teapot is the clay version of our white teapot here. Now, we first of all had this one, if you remember. And the reason why we then got the white one was I believed it was a little bit easier to judge the quality of the leaf and the colour in the leaf when we're brewing. However, when we use the brown one, this has got unglazed surface on the inside, and this unglazed surface helps us control the flavour a little bit more. So if we're looking to change the flavour of the tea we're brewing using clay, we can. So with this one, we have a glazed inside. So what you brew is what you get. So it's quite unforgiving. But if you want to have a little bit more of an easy time, then using clay is a good way to go. So let's take some of this tea. I'm going to do a camera switch again. I just hope this camera hasn't turned off in the meantime. So let me just, ta-da. Okay, fingers crossed here, fingers crossed. I'm going to have to get Justin to come and help me at some point with this. Ta-da. Okay, beautiful. So we're going to be brewing some Hojito Gold, as I've not seen any other requests. And Cindy says, "Oh, that pot is beautiful." So it's a very beautiful pot. It's very smooth. It's very what's the word? Tactile, maybe. So let me just put that there. Saw nothing. Okay. This is so beautiful. The quality of the leaf is fantastic. So I want to come and bring this a bit closer for you. Let's see if we can. Look at that. Beautiful leaf. So beautiful roasting. So we work with one of our partners who have the roasting equipment, who help us put together this delicious tea. So it's a very tasty tea, and they're very kind to help us with that. So let me get some of the hot water. Okay. And so here we have our handy dandy teapot. So you can see it's quite dark in comparison, so maybe I'll have to use my phone to help with some of the lighting, but I'm going to pour the tea straight in, and then I've got very hot water here, so 90 degrees Celsius. It's gone straight into this hot pitcher, so it's probably about 85, and I'm going to pour straight in. And we're probably not going to brew as long as we brewed the sencha, so I brew about halfway full. And I can already smell the delicious aroma coming from the tea. So it has this great smell. It smells so good, so good. I want to show you guys a little bit closer. So let's. You can see that a bit better, huh? So you can see the chocolatey gold colour. And it's got this wonderful aroma that's coming off as well. Okay, so Alex Carroll, hello. What a great colour. Some Hojito sounds great right now. Nothing smells better than Hojito. You are quite correct. And we're very lucky around Abubu, as just down the road we have a friend who has a roasting factory. So sometimes in the morning we're able to hear, or we're able to smell, sorry, some delicious roasting Hojito. So it's a wonderful way to wake up to the smell of Hojito in the whole local area. So let's pour this tea. Beautiful. Oh, look at that. Beautiful tea. It's a wonderful colour. Wonderful colour. So I just smell the tea. It's very roasted. So you can even see if we. I wonder if we can get this on. It's slightly green. So. I don't think we're going to be able to get it. There we go. So very slightly green. So this green colour is because it's such a fresh spring tea. Very fresh spring tea. Okay. Beautiful. So, wonderful tea. Now let's do a little bit of tasting. So, or maybe I can just show you. Oh, it's a bit full, huh? But beautiful liquor. A little bit viscous as well. So it's going to be quite thick. It's going to have pretty good strength, I'd imagine. And let's do a quick. Okay. There we go. We're back. Okay, it's a little bit of a strange camera setup, but it'll be better next time, I promise. So the next time is this afternoon, so I'll figure it out before then. So let's drink some delicious tea. Wow, that's so good. It's like thick, warm. It is like a hug. It's always like a hug when you drink Hojito. It's got like a sweetness, but very thick as well. It's almost like a dessert. Like I can imagine having this tea, like in the evening after having a particularly delicious, I don't know, matcha pie or matcha cookie or what else has been made recently, matcha cupcakes, and having a cup of this, and yeah, very tasty. So we have some interns at the moment who are particularly fond of baking. So we've had various different things, and yeah, they're making some really good stuff. So I'm hoping we'll have some recipes coming for you sooner rather than later. Delicious tea. Delicious tea. Right. So we have a couple of the teas. We've brewed a couple of the teas. We've got a couple of cups here. So some wonderful brews. And I also wanted to talk to you guys today a little bit about the tea club updates that we've had recently and what we're going to be doing moving forward. So I'm going to get some more hot water because I want to drink a little bit more green tea. It's a very hot day here, so I don't know if you can tell if I look a little bit warm, but it's about 30 degrees outside already. So I'm luckily in the mildly air-conditioned tea room, just so we don't cool the place down too much. So we're going to be getting warmer and warmer weather here as time goes on. So it's a bit warm today, but it's okay. So where was I? we've got some updates. So most importantly and recently, one of our wonderful interns, Laura, has really been helping pull the Tea Club forward with me into the ability to be able to update your own details from the website. Your payment details, your shipping details, it's now doable. If you already had a website account, I have connected, changed the roles, and you'll be able to go into your account system now, and you can see payment methods, you can see shipping methods, and you can see how to change that as well. It's hosted by our payment provider Stripe, so it's on their secure network, and you have a very easy way to update your details now. So firstly, thank you so much, Laura, super fantastic. And then, so this is the first part, and the next part means is that all of our international members now will now be able to access discounts on teas. So you can find the Tea Club discount area under products, and then right at the bottom you have Tea Club discounts. And if you head there, you can see a list of currently 14 different teas with Tea Club discounts. So if you want to receive those, then of course we need to make the most of your Tea Club shipping, because we're going to ship you a Tea Club box anyway. So we ship for free up to 1.4 kilos of extra tea. Why 1.4? Well, we have to make room for some packaging, and up to 2 kilos in total is the limit for DHL for most shipments before they change a price bracket. So if we have that space anyway, well, why don't we use it to help you get more delicious teas? So it makes sense. So if you want to take advantages of adding orders to a free shipping option, then it's possible, and you'll also be able to update all your details on the website as well. And we're hoping to bring more changes to the Tea Club and how it looks on the website, and what is available for Tea Club members to use on the website too. So if you have some suggestions, then I would love to hear a bit more feedback from you guys, and see if you have some ideas or requests that you would like us to think about adding into the Tea Club. We always want to make the Tea Club better, and we always want to give you guys a better experience for the Tea Club, and we want to build a bigger tea community. So this is in the far off dream, but we have to do a step at a time and bit by bit. So we're going to get there, and it's all thanks to your help, guys. So thank you very much. I very much appreciate it. So this beautiful tea. So Center of the Earth, for the second infusion, I do a pretty hot brew, so about 80 to 85 degrees Celsius. And with this, I brew for not too long, but today I brewed a little bit longer because I needed a little bit of a strong tea with a little bit of a punch. And this is the tea that was the right vibe for today. So not that cup, this cup. Okay. Sorry, we've got a few messages. So Cindy says, oh, the brown pot is beautiful. Yeah, very beautiful pot. Alex Carroll says, what a great colour. Some Hojito sounds great right now. Oh yeah, we read that one. And Tea Potato says, and that's why I have so much tea. Yeah, it's a difficult thing when you have those options. We always want to do the best with what we have. And if we have the shipping options available, then why not offer it to you guys? It makes more sense. So it's the best way, we believe, to make the most of the shipping. And when you take into account things like the CO2 emissions, then you want to make the most of making those anyway. Then this is the best way to try and help those things, to maximize the value of that. So yeah. Now, if anyone has any questions or would like me to brew another tea, or wants to talk about other parts of the Tea Club, then I'm happy to. So please don't be afraid to ask all and every question. I would love to hear your feedback. Please just drop it in the chat. I will get to it. But in the meantime, let's talk a little bit about our Blue Forest Tea Garden. So for that, I think I will just grab here this wonderful piece. So this is the Blue Forest Tea Gardens emblem, which was given to us very kindly from one of our tea club members, Mike. So he's based in Switzerland, and he saw this and he picked up this to commemorate his naming of the Blue Forest Tea Garden. So he helped name, along with one of our other members, Joshua, and they together, we combined the name that they came up with, the names, and we created the Blue Forest Tea Garden. And so to commemorate that, Mike went out and purchased this beautiful wire bonsai, and you can read a bit more about the competition that he enabled us to experience in our journal that we put together. And yeah, so Mike sent us lots of wonderful gifts, and even sent us some feedback on all of the teas, and it was a very wonderful experience for us, because we hadn't had many of our tea club members come back to us and give us feedback on the teas that we'd spent time producing. So it was a really wonderful way to experience the tea connection with people from around the world. So it was very cool. And so at the end of the competition that he created, he elected a winner, and he gave us also this wonderful bonsai, which now remains in our tea room for all of our guests to see, and it sits up here with our Japanese Tea to the World tote bag and other teapots that we have that were gifted via friends. So it's a wonderful story, and I recommend having a read. It's very nice. Now on to the production of the natural tea garden that we have, this Blue Forest Tea Garden. So we've decided to turn it into an organic garden eventually, as we've been telling you, and it's moving from a conventionally farmed tea area to an organic tea area. And during this transition, we've named the teas the natural line of teas. So our tea club members have already experienced natural gyokuro last September, but we also have other teas coming too. So we have natural sakura sencha, which is already available for sale, natural yanagi, which is a type of bancha, available for sale as well, and natural hojicha, which will be coming very soon to the site. And we have a few more teas which we've only produced this year, which are incredibly tasty, and there's in total now 11 teas in the lineup for the natural line of teas. So this is a really unique opportunity to taste what a tea garden in the middle of the transition from conventionally farmed methods to organic methods tastes like. And if we're able to combine these ideas, and we're able to have a taste of what this is like and how delicious the teas are, then it will dispel the myth that farmers won't be able to get a return on their tea during a transition like this. And we want to encourage more people to have the freedom of choice to choose how they would like to farm and not feel locked into a certain way of farming. So we have some questions here as well. I really did enjoy the journal, and the most recent box. I did miss the temperature time brewing guide, though. Will those be coming back in future boxes? Excellent question. So we didn't include it in this last time, and part of the reason is because if you were to scan this QR code, this would take us to the video where we go through in depth about the production of each of the teas. So I figured there's a tractor going past, so if you hear that, my apologies. So it was something that we thought about after we received the journal, that perhaps on this page we should have some brewing guide in here as well. And so if that's something that that you would like, Cindy, then I'll have a chat to Kaio-san and we'll try and figure out where to organise that on the page. But I think that could be quite a nice way. The difficulty is that, as you've probably seen now with the videos, it's one video, not 6 different videos. So we wanted to have a different focus for each of the videos. And the first video was more towards the garden and the tea flavours and the differences. So this next time in September is quite hot and we want to focus more on brewing. So we're going to be doing a bit more of different styles of brewing and seeing what options are available for different flavours inside each of the teas. So there might be lots of different recommendations, but if you wanted to get the recommendations connected to how we would brew these teas generally, not specifically in the context of the next video, then that's something that we could always do. So we can always give a solid recommendation for our general brewing guide. So yeah, if you want to, I don't know if I've answered your question, but I'll have a chat to Kaio-san. Justin says, natural Hojito is my favourite. So Justin is actually just only a few meters away. He is just at the factory and he's one of our interns. So Justin has been drinking a lot of natural Hojito, I think, in the evenings, and it's a very, very tasty tea. So I'm glad you enjoy it, Justin. Alex says, is Akisan using a natural organic fertilizer for the Blue Forest tea garden? How is he caring for the tea bushes? So, Akisan is not the main tea farmer for the Blue Forest tea garden. So the staff members of Abubu are looking after the Blue Forest tea garden. So we are becoming tea farmers in our own right. So we're not going to be as good as Akisan, of course, and it's going to take us a bit of time to get up to speed with better production, but we've now been looking after the Blue Forest tea garden since 2020. So we've got a couple of years under our belts and we're producing some pretty tasty teas, even if I say so myself. So the natural sencha we produced in springtime this year is really very good. So I really enjoyed it a lot. And it is a different product to conventionally farmed tea, and it is a different product to organically farmed tea. So I would highly recommend trying it. It's a very tasty tea. But as I said, not all of them are released, and they're going to be released towards the end of July. And we're waiting on some packaging to come back, and then they'll be ready for purchase. So, but very tasty teas. And the care for the garden. So we don't use any fertilizers at all. So nothing is done to the tea gardens other than trimming the tea bush after the harvests and allowing that to fall back into the soil. So that's the only thing we do to give nutrients back to the tea bush, is cuttings from the tea bush itself. Cindy says, that sounds awesome. I can usually guess at the times and temps based on the types of tea, but I'd love to hear your suggestions and flavour notes. Okay, well, I think for like flavour notes and going more in depth, you'll be able to find that in the videos. So if you haven't already seen, it's very easy to scan this QR code. So just take out your smartphone camera and just hold it over. I mean, we could even do a live one now. Now, I've got to be honest, I had never used a QR code before I came to Japan, but it's very easy. We just get our video there, and then tap it, and it takes us straight to the video. And you can see this is the YouTube video, which is the one we made for springtime this year. So it's a very easy way to have a look. And we did lots of, what did we do? We spent a long time, and we had a lot of help from Justin, one of our interns currently, and he helped us put together, I think, a pretty nice production. And we tasted lots of different teas, we had lots of different camera angles, and we were talking in English and Japanese. So it was a nice conversation. And if you need to translate either one, you can always jump into the subtitles options in the video, and you can select all English or all Japanese, and you'll be easily able to follow along the conversation. So it's a nice way to do. Now, so for, I think, the brewing recommendations, I think we would be able to put together our general brewing recommendations for the journal and put it on the back page. I think that's something very possible. Flavor notes, we have a limited amount of space in here, so it's difficult to fit everything we want in there. But I think flavor notes we would be able to put into the video and talk about together with you in that way. I think now is also a good time to do that. So when we do these sessions, we're able to have a chat about these. If you'd like to do something like this more regularly, then please drop me an email, let me know, and I'll try and have a look at setting up a more regular item like this. So it's easy for us to do, and it's always nice to connect with Tea Club members. So if we can do something more regular, then it's only a good thing. So Alex says, wow, that is amazing. Congratulations. I'll look forward to tasting more of your teas. Thank you very much, Alex. So, I mean, you can look forward to tasting more of the teas, I'm assuming, when you come to visit us in the autumn time. So I hope you're still able to come and you can enjoy some tea with us. Alex, so this is remembering back to Alex's internship a little bit. When Alex arrived, we had just got some more, we had started looking at putting together a warehouse. So this is a secondary warehouse for the packing of retail products and storage of teas in the upstairs area. And this is now been finished for a long time, and without Alex's help it would have been very difficult to have that wonderful space, and we now do, and it's fully functional as our retail warehouse, and we're and a packing area as well, and it's wonderful. So we've also been able to use Alex's beautifully crafted Japanese tea basics review she did. She went over the structure of the program and adjusted everything, and it was I've been teaching that to the latest batch of interns, so thank you very much, Alex. It's been super helpful, and I'm looking forward to teaching more interns as we go forward into the next batch which will be arriving in autumn, so very exciting. And we also had a new intern arrive just on Monday from France. Her name is Mathilde, and she's joined the intern team. She's fitting in very well. She's been helping us out loads already, and she's been thoroughly enjoying the harvest as well. She's been particularly fond of that. So yeah, so we're coming to the last parts of the live session. So if anyone has any questions for tea or would like to ask any other questions or anything, then now is a good time. I'm here for a few more minutes and we can share different parts. I hope you've all been able to head over to the website and see your new account areas where you're able to change your payment details and also your shipping details as well. If you need to update anything, that's a good area to do it in. So yeah. Oh, Justin says, which tea is your favourite? Oh, Justin. Asking me the difficult questions. So, let me have a look. Let's just put Aoi Mori to the side over here. So, out of the teas that we have here, we have quite a few different options. But of course, during the springtime, we're going to have mostly our delicious spring teas in the spring box. So we have a fair few teas here. Now, obviously it's going to differ depending on the time of day and how I kind of want to feel after I drink these teas. If I want to have a bit more energy and I need a bit more caffeine, I'm probably going to look to a shaded tea like a Kabuse Sencha. Or Sencha of the Wind, or top secret Sencha of the Gushing Brook. So, I mean, we haven't talked about this yet, but this tea is normally unshaded. However, the last 2 years, 2020 and 2021, I mean, Alex, you were there, you should remember this harvest. There was a lot of frostbite on the teas. They were frostbitten, so there was much less harvest available. So Akisan was a bit disappointed because it's a wonderful tea area that this particular garden's in. And so over the winter time, last winter, he put in a shelf-style shading system, which is how we normally produce gyokuro. But he did this specifically to stop the frost from damaging the leaf. Now, when he shaded this tea, when he covered the tea to prevent it from being frostbitten in the early part of April, he didn't unshade it. So this has actually been shaded for 17 days. So this has undergone 17 days of shading, and this is the Sayemidori cultivar. So it is also Kabuse Sencha. So this is another type. So this is 3 separate cultivars of shaded tea that you have to taste between. So it's 3. So wonderful to be able to taste 3 separately shaded cultivars of tea and see which is your favorite. So we have our traditional Kabuse Sencha, which is Yabukita, the standard in Japan. And then we have our Sencha of the Wind, which is one of our most popular teas. It's a very tasty tea. And then we have the new edition of new version Sencha of the Gushing Brook. The 2022 version is also shaded, but I need to create a new product for this on the website. So it's not available for retail, but for our tea club members only, you have been able to receive this tea. So very tasty tea, very special tea. And Justin said, what's your favorite tea? Well, this is my favorite tea of 2022. It is a very tasty tea. So thoroughly enjoyed that tea. So great question. And that's my reasoning for it and my idea behind it. So I hope that explains it. We've got a couple of messages from Alex, so let me just have a quick look. Any possibilities of a carbon neutral, sustainable organic tea box or tea pack? Given all the work on the new Blue Forest tea garden, it might be something people would be drawn to. This is something I've had to think about, and it is something I would like to look into a little bit more, but I would want to find a way to be able to quantify things. So how much does an area of tea garden take in, and how much output does shipping the items take? So being able to find a way to quantify these things to encourage people to help with the tea club membership and promote the maintenance of tea gardens which would otherwise be abandoned is really important. But I think it is a great idea which needs the time that it deserves. So if you have any experience in this, Alex, I would love to talk to you about it, because it is something that has crossed my mind before, but it's a really good idea. Oh dear. Okay, so I didn't read your second point. I'm sorry. So carbon offsets are easy to calculate based on the shipping weight, and I wouldn't mind spending a little bit more if it was an option. I can see an Abubu carbon neutral tea pack in my imagination. Okay, so based on shipping weight, yeah, I think so. So I think that's definitely something we could do. I would also love to be able to then calculate the offset in the amount of tea garden which is able to be maintained. I think that would be a wonderful way to be a method of offset as you said, like an increased fee to look after more tea garden. So I think it would be wonderful. But it's a really wonderful idea, Alex, and yeah. Okay, I just take a quick screenshot of that so we can have a look. Yeah. I think, yeah, wonderful idea. So I really think it's a wonderful idea. So we're just in the last couple of minutes. Oh, Cindy says, no question, just want to wish you and everyone at Abubu a great day. Thanks for having us. Absolutely my pleasure, Cindy. Thank you very, very much. And just before we go, I will spin you around and you can just see how beautiful and sunny it is today and have a little look at the weather. So let me just move you around. So just bear with me a moment. I'm going to have a little bit of a spin around so you can see the beautiful weather we have today. You can also see potentially Hiro-san. So we have our tea factory there with Akisan on the side. You can also see the wonderful rice paddy as well. And it's a very sunny day today. So beautiful. So you saw Hiro-san. You can see Kaio-san walking through. And Kaio-san, we have our online event today. And we are welcoming guests from around Japan. And if people are able to come, we would love other people to come and join us. We already have some sign-ups for the autumn hand-picking, hand-rolling event, which is a really nice time to be able to come and experience the hand-picking rolling that happens at Abubu 3 times per year. So let's see, we can see some tea gardens in the background over there. So yeah, beautiful. So here we have some wonderful, wonderful tea gardens. So it's a beautiful time. It's a beautiful place, and if you have the opportunity to come to Wazuka, then I thoroughly recommend it. It is a beautiful part of the world, and you're able to drink lots of delicious teas. So let me hop back into frame now. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have enjoyed. I've thoroughly enjoyed sitting and having a chat with you guys and drinking some delicious tea. I mean, this is what tea is about, is sharing passion for tea and sharing wonderful times with people. So thank you so much for joining us, and thank you so much for being part of the Abubu Tea Club and helping us promote delicious teas from Wazuka and looking after tea gardens that would otherwise be abandoned. So I thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and enjoy some delicious tea. Arigatou gozaimasu. Bye bye.